I'm sure if you watch my content, and you could probably see with this eye right here, um, it's a little bit different than this eye. I have a sty in there. Um, and that's why maybe you've seen it on a couple other videos where it's all swollen. Um, I'm real. I'm a real person, so I don't need to sit here and put some kind of image. No, I speak truths. That's why a lot my videos are not edited like other YouTubers. They edit everything. That's a little bit because of laziness too. Because I don't feel like I'm busy, dude. I'm busy. I ain't got time for all that. Um, I don't like going to the doctor. I do. I despise going to the doctor. Um, I'm relatively healthy, right? My eating, I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to get better on more on par. I exercise. I just got back into exercising, but before the whole COVID thing, when they shut the gyms down, I was exercising, lifting weights. I'm not gonna use that excuse. I could have exercised throughout the lockdown, but it is what it is. So my whole thing is what people don't understand about this about oh why are hospitals so expensive, or why is medical insurance so high? Well, it's supply and demand. It's the same thing with daycare. Why is daycare so high? Well, there's a huge demand for it, so they're gonna have high prices. If there was a little demand for it and women actually stayed home and took care of their own kids instead of subsidizing to somebody else, childcare to somebody else, daycare would go down in price because there wouldn't be as many kids needing to be taken care of. That's a different conversation, but it's the same type of thing. People in America would probably have one of the most unhealthy countries on this whole planet. We're definitely the most obese, and when um our number one killer is heart disease, it kills over 500,000 people a year. When you got um number two killer is cancer, and that is 500,000 people die a year. And you see the push for alcohol. You know, um, I don't know why that's legal and marijuana is not, but that's another conversation too. Um, Overeating, um, uh, eating unhealthy processed foods. I see it all the time, and I can see it in people. I can see how heavy they are and how how much of a drain on the system that these people are. Um, the overeating is a huge thing in America. We have an abundance of food, um, and the drugs. People are on drugs, so people are always going to the doctors, and I don't like going to the doctors. I don't like wait. I don't like making it an appointment. Right, sitting in the waiting room for 30 minutes to an hour, and then they call you back there. You gotta wait another 30 minutes because the doctor like I don't understand. If I made an appointment, why the heck do I have to wait so long? Why are you making all these appointments if you can't? Um, um, like if I make my time is valuable, it's like they don't look. My time is not valuable to them. That's how I look at it. If I make an appointment somewhere, I'm on time. Because what happens if I don't show up on time? That's why that's why I just do not like the doctor. They don't value you. You're not you're and they look at you. They want you in and out as quick as possible, especially when you go to these urgent care centers. They don't even want to. They just want you in and out as quick as possible. Um they Yeah, they went to college and they know specific things. But just because they're a doctor does not mean that they know every single thing on the human body. They maybe went for a special thing, right? Maybe they went for eyes or they went for heart. But they don't know muscle structure or they don't know everything. And that's what people think is like, oh, because they're a doctor, they know everything on the human body. They don't. They don't. And another thing too is I remember going to my family doctor when I started getting into fasting and I talked to her about it. She's, oh, it's bad. Oh, fasting's bad. Because these doctors have been indoctrinated. Look at the food pyramid back. I remember the food pyramid. You had to have so much a day of carbs and sugars, and that stuff's bad for you. Carbs turns into sugars. Maybe they didn't have the studies that we have now back in when I was a teenager 25 years ago, but still, that just shows that they don't know everything. I prefer, and for my kids, unless it's a serious thing, you know, um, like a serious sickness, like it's not going away, or like it's a structural damage. I had to go the last time I went to urgent care because it was probably like 3 months ago when I screwed up my back. When I screwed up my back, I couldn't go to work. I couldn't go to work for about 3 days, so I had to call off for 3 days, and I want to get a doctor's note because I didn't want to get fired or whatever. And and mostly I healed myself. He did give me some kind of a shot that did help out. I'm sure, like, because my muscle was so like it was tense as heck in there, right? And I couldn't move as my lower back. I really couldn't. It was like one of the more worst pain. It was a pinched nerve. It was a muscle so tight in there. It was laying on top of one of my vertebrae nerves, and every time I moved, it was excruciating pain. I could barely even move. So, I was getting better, not to the point where I needed to be, but um, I eventually went. But that's what I'm saying. Like, people go to the doctors for dumb things. Oh, I'm sick. Like, if I get sick or my kids get sick, I like to let our immune systems force the sickness out, right? And people are gonna be like, "Oh, well, he might have COVID." Well, whatever, dude. Whatever, man. We get sick, okay? And I do monitor things. So if I did have a fever or did have symptoms of that, I would take us to the doctor at that point. But if I got a cough or like a sore throat, why do I need to go to the doctor? That's what they just always want to go to the doctor for the littlest things. So instead of letting their immune system battle it out, no, they want to go to the doctor and they get antibiotics for everything. And what happens is your body gets immune to antibiotics and they end up being worthless. I like my immune system to be as strong as it can possibly be. And I want it to be a lean, mean fighting machine. And a lot of people don't think like this. They don't think, oh, I want my immune system to get stronger and battle it out. No, they just want to take the easy way out, and that's why. And you wonder why health costs are so much. Is because there's so much of a demand because people go into the doctors for little frivolous things. Like I said, I try to take care of all my things on my own. I had a severe injury, not a severe. It is a pretty substantial cut at work, where I ripped my skin off and it bled pretty good. Now most people would have went to the doctor, right? And what they would have done, they would have cleaned it out and glued it. That's what they would have done. What did I do? I declined going to the doctor, right? I I knew it wasn't that bad. If my thumb was cut off or something, or some kind of a bone problem, I would go to the doctor. Trust me. If it was something major, I would go to the doctor. But for something small, like my skin got ripped off, like you can kind of see, right? And I'll post in the thumbnail if I still have it. I don't think I have the picture no more, but if I still have the picture, I'll post in the thumbnail what it was before. Anyway, I didn't go. A lot of people would have went to the doctor. Well, what did I do? It took probably about 2 weeks to heal, and I made sure it was cleaned out. I took care of it. I made sure I washed it. I made sure I kept it wrapped up when I went out. When I was at home, when it wasn't bleeding, um, I kept everything off of it so it could breathe. That's how I handled it. And that's how you should handle it. That's what they would say. A lot of, how much information is on here on YouTube. You could probably figure out a lot of things yourself instead of having to go to a doctor. There's a lot of information on here. And you can fix yourself and be self-reliant. But a lot of people don't want to do that. Like I said, I don't like going to the doctor. I don't like waiting in lines. I don't like waiting. It's a pain in the butt, and it's annoying, and I don't want to see somebody who pretty much has a huge ego and just looks at me as a customer and act like they care, and they really don't care. And like I said, if I have something major or my kids have something major, we're going to the doctor. No ifs, ands, or buts. But the people go to the doctor for the littlest things, and then you people wonder why our healthcare is so expensive. Is because of the huge demand of people who don't take care of themselves. Like, seriously, how many people? That's a million people that die a year because because they're unhealthy. You can probably there's probably a certain percentage. Yeah, they were probably gonna die because genetics, or there's nothing that they could have done, right? But it would have been a small percentage, I bet. Most of these people are self-inflicting heart disease and cancer onto themselves because of their poor lifestyle and their poor decision making. I see it all the time. You can look out there when you go out there and you see people. You go to the store, you see how many heavy people are out there. It's damn near half of the population. It's probably a little bit over the half of the population who is overweight, not obese. Obese is probably like, if they're literally obese, they're probably like 30% of the population, maybe 35%. I'm talking about, you know, most people are not healthy out there. Most people are not fit. Most people, you know, have an extra 5 pounds on you or 10 pounds. Nah, that's not a big deal. But if you're like 30, a lot of people 30 pounds overweight. I'm 30 pounds overweight. But I exercise and I'm doing something about it. Most people don't do nothing about it, right? They just whatever. And then they just want the quick fix. So my whole thing is, if you wonder why the health system costs so much money, it's because of the stress that's being put on it from people, and it's demand, same as childcare, high demand.